Welcome back to MLG, guys. We saw a very short game.
Yeah.
And it was actually a game we could learn a lot from because that's not the way you want to do that rush. That rush is strong. It should have beaten Naniwa, but Naniwa's handling was too perfect.
It was. You know, right now they're just fixing some sound errors, so it will be a couple minutes before we start this next one. The map, Antigua Shipyard. Demuslim has to be feeling kind of down. What do you guys think, JP and Rob?
Man, I'm just hoping that loss does not put out the Devil Terran's flame. We saw, there was actually a picture on Reddit, huge shout out to the Reddit StarCraft community, of him like holding his head after his defeat.
I think that might have been against Hey Pro, so he's definitely kind of not having the best tournament day.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it seems like the game was basically over. He GG'd at the appropriate time, but he seems very emotional right now. So we'll see if that affects his play in the next game.
Well, I certainly hope so. But let's talk about something else for a minute here.
Oh, yes.
Apparently, Reddit is in some sort of uproar about getting to see Stefano against Polt. So if the stars align, there's going to be a bonus match after this with, I believe, Day9 and DJ Wheat.
Great.
Casting that little rivalry.
Ho-ho, a treat for everyone.
Oh, I can hear the roar of the nerds.
Oh, the rumble grows.
They are happy with that treat, but imagine if it was a trick and I was lying and they're all like, oh.
We're like, just kidding, guys. We're actually closing down right now. Oh.
Sickest troll ever.
Yes.
What do you guys think, JP and Rob? Who is Polt versus Stefano? They have a storied history. Who do you think is going to take that?
I mean, we saw at Lone Star Clash where Stefano was able to take out Polt there. So I don't know. I feel like right now, if history has anything to say about it, Stefano should win. But I don't really know how they're doing in the open bracket, who they've had to play, and how tired each of them are.
I mean, I've heard whispers of people saying that this is this is almost like Stefano's tournament to lose,
Right.
like because he's on a complete huge winning streak recently, and when you talk about top players
been,
too.
playing pretty well. But Polt is playing just godly lately.
Oh, you guys know much more about Polt. Tell us all about him.
Polt, there's just
Polt.
he's smart, man.
He's smart.
Really
well,
smart.
He's very smart.
Very
he has
handsome.
his own way of playing the game. Yep, very handsome guy. Actually, he's sponsored by thehandsomenerd.com. You can buy TSL shirts, and actually that money will go to pay for his food.
Yeah. His
computer
dental
equipment.
care.
Yeah. Nerds need teeth. Those are important.
They're important, man. How else would you bite other nerds' fingers off?
Especially if you're Polt. These are important things,
These
guys,
are
that
important
are
things.
overlooked all the time. No, but yeah, Polt is a very hard worker. I think he's probably the hardest worker on the team TSL.
Well, Andy's got to buy books for university, right? He has like a super crazy.
He's like in the Harvard of Korea.
That's right.
It's Seoul University. So he's a very impressive individual. You know, he's one of those guys. Like you look at White Raw, and you know he's older than Dan and I. I wouldn't say he's like an old man, but he's older than Dan and I. He's still able to game, still able to do it up. Same way you get somebody in Korea. You have to study very hard. Polt, one of these guys that can still do it all. So it looks like they're ready, but I need to know if the nerds in the audience are ready.
Oh, I think so, Tasteless.
The nerds in the audience are smart. They knew they could only do that by cheering. Had they all nodded their heads, we might have been waiting a little bit longer. So way to go, guys. It's going to be game number 2, Naniwa against Demuslim on the map, Antigua Shipyard. And I am looking forward to seeing the results of this game. In the bottom left, our Protoss player deflecting a cheese he should have not possibly been able to do. Make some noise for Naniwa! And in the upper right, wishing his opponent good luck, have fun, and receiving it at the same time. Having a hard time in this tournament. He could really use some cheers from you guys. Give it up for Demuslim.
Both players concentrating to the utmost. Such an important match. Every match is important. You just finish higher in the tournament if you win right here, right now.
Yeah, I mean, part of your story is you at least know some endings that are not going to occur, at this tournament. Let's say you get out ahead of, one of these other players.
Yeah. Well, Antigua Shipyard, it's a good map for TVP. A lot of fun games here. But normally it's favored Terran a little bit here. You know, taking that third base, you're kind of removed from your main, and medevac harassment becomes very strong.
Another important factor about Antigua Shipyard is that it is a map where the fourth base becomes sort of a nightmare for everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody really gets the fourth base easily. The most natural location for the fourth base for you to take would either be the upper center or the upper lower, which, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, has that watchtower and the high ground there, so it's very easy for them to take that location and camp there.
In fact, that's oftentimes a game ender. If you actually sit on top of that high ground for a little bit, having that as your fourth base, that oftentimes wins the game, no matter what matchup it is on this map. It's such a crucial, vital location. It cuts the map in half, really.
Now, note Demuslim very intentionally walling in before the probe can get there. He wants absolutely no information for Naniwa.
And oftentimes when you see this, what is going to happen is a one barracks gasless expand. And that is what's going to happen here. But there's no way for Naniwa to tell for sure. So he still has to be a little bit careful.
I would not be surprised if Naniwa scouts around the entire map just to make sure there's no cheese.
Well, it already happened once, Staceless. And if there was a proxy barracks and he ended up losing that, I do not think he'd be very happy.
Well, Naniwa would be, but yeah, you're right. Now, as you can see here, the SCV interfering with the probe's ability to plant any structures here.
Oh, so annoying right there. But he is building a Zealot, so that engineering bay will go down pretty quickly. Of course, that engineering bay is being built there, so it can be canceled and just slow down the Nexus as much as possible.
You know, we have a pretty early proxy pylon in the top center, and I'm really starting to wonder if we what?
Yeah, no,
Just
that
say
proxy pylon, that's all.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Like,
I'm sorry.
ooh.
You got me way too excited. Yeah, I mean that being put up there really makes me wonder. Do you think Naniwa might be trying to go for some kind of expansion bust here, sensing weakness, smelling blood in the water in this game against Demuslim?
Nope, because he just made the Nexus.
Ah, you're right. As I say that.
And SCV does go ahead and scout that pylon, so that pylon can be taken out by Demuslim pretty easily, but he's going to be a little bit scared because he doesn't know about the Nexus for sure. So he's seen that pylon. The SCV could not go to scout, and see there, he has no idea. If I'm Demuslim right now, I'm a little bit scared, and I build additional bunkers, which is actually exactly what he's doing. Naniwa playing some mind games by just laying a pylon in an easily scoutable path.
Yeah.
But not so easily scoutable that you're like, all right, Naniwa, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess no matter what, you get to find that pylon. And then this additional bunker, great. Demuslim feels safe, but that's a bunch of minerals that could have gone to developing more of his economy.
And in fact, look at this, adding 3 gates, so it's going to be a fast expansion into 4-gate pressure. But Demuslim has gone for 4 barracks with no gas, so he's going to have a ton of units too. And in fact, these are very similar builds. They're almost mirror builds for the race.
This should be a pretty long, I wouldn't necessarily say textbook or orthodox, but it should be a pretty long, dramatic game.
Hopefully, as the last one absolutely was not. And just continuing to keep that SCV from scouting any, really. Naniwa is making a second proxy pylon a little bit closer for his reinforcements.
Uh-oh.
And of course, warping in sentries first so that they can gain some more energy.
Now, you know, warping the sentries in there, that's interesting because that is, of course, close to the middle of the map. So we may see some pressure here.
Yeah, certainly, and more and more units coming in. But Demuslim, if he brings a few SCVs up there, he should be able to hold. You know, this is not the most fearsome force.
And note the distance between the bunkers and the minerals. It's not easy for the SCVs to run over there and get there in time to save the bunkers.
That is quite right. I think Naniwa's just going to wait for probably another warping round of at least a couple Zealots and then maybe some Stalkers as well. And that's what he gets.
Okay, yep, once the Zealots are warped, and usually that's the indicator that it's about to happen. Oh, a bad force field there by Naniwa.
And he's going for that bunker. That bunker looks like it will go down very quickly. Nice force fields, but does he have enough damage output here? It looks like, yes, he does, forcing those Marines back.
Oh, I think he was kind of torn between attacking that bunker or not. Now a few more zealots come in here, and that's when the attack will start up again. SCVs!
The SCVs just surrounding everything. A ton of damage. You can't micro those long-range units, which is exactly what he needs to do with them, but the zealots going to town on these SCVs as well. And Naniwa just having so many units, still dealing a ton of damage. And in fact, he's killed off 14 SCVs.
Wow, I'm surprised to see Naniwa kind of bungle. Well, I guess he didn't bungle that. He did a lot of damage. But
He could have done more.
He could have done a lot more, and he didn't need to be in that position. You know, hugging that little ledge.
Yeah. Well, right now, Demuslim is going to be a little bit scared. You know, he's down to 25 SCVs against 41. He does have that third command center, though, so he's going to have extra mules and extra SCV production. So if Naniwa slacks at all, Demuslim can absolutely catch up in economy.
All right, we are still waiting to see if he's going to move out again. Note, right now Naniwa not making any additional probes. And in fact, now we're in 3 more stalkers. So it looks like he's actually going to go in for the kill.
Yeah, it does look like that. And Demuslim, of course, has no SCVs down there because he needs them all mining. And here they come.
Oh!
Beautiful force fields right there. And look at that, keeping those SCVs away. And that bunker will go down. Will the second as well. Does he have the force fields to actually surround it? Because the SCVs are repairing it just so heavily right now.
Looks like he just barely ran out, but again, that's SCVs that are not mining. These are bunkers that are having to be remade. I'm slowly watching, you know, Demuslim's economy dwindle more and more and more.
You know, he's having a hard time because he's not mining, but a lot of units were killed. And Naniwa is going to have to wait for the next phase of this attack for these extra warping rounds.
Do you keep attacking in this situation, or Joseph, or Naniwa, or do you back up?
I think he just keeps attacking. He has a very solid economy. He can continue to warp in more beefy units. As long as he doesn't lose too many stalkers and doesn't really lose any sentries, this is fine. But at this point, I think once he walks up here another time, he's not going to attack anymore. Those are 3 well-placed bunkers. He has a lot of SCVs out there. I don't think Demuslim will break.
I think you might be right. Even just seeing all the SCVs up here, he may just be like, oh, okay, the damage has already been done. Oh, and I like that, just trying to snipe an SCV or 2. And you see Naniwa's smart. He sees the SCVs are there. He says, well, that's a lot of lost mining time anyways. I guess that attack worked without the attack happening. And now we have 2 forges, upgrading +1 armor and attack.
That's right. Not only that, we have 2 Twilight Councils. One is already made, the other one's still warping in. If he upgrades Charge and Blink at the same time, I am going to do a happy dance. Nope,
it was a mistake.
Darn. Well, he's going to take his 3rd base as well, so he's doing a lot at once right now, a real lot. Expanding, getting his upgrades, and you know, just getting that Twilight Council as well. So, ooh, a Dark Shrine. That's kind of interesting.
Well, you know, I think he killed so many SCVs that he probably suspects that Demuslim is going to be landing every mule humanly possible. And by going for Dark Templars, it's really a situation where he can deny the 4th base.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about that.
Excuse me, the 3rd base.
Yeah. But there are 3 orbitals out. And in fact, he's getting a 2nd starport. Normally you'll get that if you think they're going Colossus and you're behind on your tech. But that's not what's going on here. This is the Twilight Council tech route. He doesn't know that, of course. But when we have a bunch of Archons made from Dark Templars and stuff like that, you know, he's just going to have a lot of medevacs. No Vikings. Those are not going to help.
We have Hallucination now on the way. Hallucination generally at this phase of the metagame, internationally in StarCraft 2, is used to produce units that can then scout, like a Phoenix, for instance. That way you can go around the map, and you know, if you're scouting them and you have no idea what they're doing, you're probably not using a bunch of force fields. If you're using force fields, you know that they're attacking you and you're trying to keep your army alive.
That's quite right. So I'll be interested to see exactly what he does with that. Charge and 2-2 on the way for him. Demuslim, though, his upgrades not quite as good. He does have 2-1 on the way, but
we got DTs coming.
The DTs
He's
are out.
Them up. This one's gonna go into the main. That one is dead.
And in fact, he used that hallucinated Phoenix to get some DTs into the main base as well. Really nice move there, warping those DTs in on that high ground. And now Demuslim, is he gonna fall apart or will he be able to hold?
Just taking a look at the supplies here, Demuslim is in fact actually ahead, well, just by a small margin, but that's a pretty impressive feat. And the DTs not very effective here, so Demuslim is definitely still in this game.
Yeah, you know, this is what normally happens when you go DTs. Your supply actually drops in relation to your opponents, but look at that, 24 workers killed now. So that is just a huge, scary army for Demuslim. In fact, he's got 48 Marines and 12 Marauders against 21 Zealots, 24 Stalkers, and 8 Sentries. So we have no splash damage from Naniwa, and Demuslim is moving out through the map.
Oh, nice!
Oh,
Beautiful snipe on the medevacs. Oh, man, and the Zealots can now spill in here, doing a ton of damage here. And I have to say, although Demuslim is microing very, very well, really the advantage as far as the terrain really does go to Naniwa here.
And don't forget that he did kill off a lot of those expensive medevacs for Demuslim. Demuslim has to back up and stay alive for a bit. 2-1 is almost done. If he can hold on for that and a little bit more production, then he's still in a very good spot.
Hallucinated Phoenix.
Oh,
he's going to blink in the main.
Oh, man.
Oh, sick.
Beautiful move by Naniwa here. Targeting down reactors, tech labs, and the sort. That is just perfect play.
This is really how you punish Terran, who might have gotten slightly behind. Blinks out.
And now he's going for the third, it looks like, or no.
He could even force field the ramp and force him to use medevacs. I don't know if he's going to do that.
Great moves by Naniwa. Really clever in his usages of that hallucination. And now Demuslim's in a lot of trouble. Some nice force fields coming up. Those Zealots going up, but they die very quickly through these 2-1 upgrades.
Naniwa apparently very confident that he can win this battle. I question if this was the most effective way to do it, but I guess a win is a win. We'll see. The Marines now spilling in here, and note there are no sentries left here, so that was not the best handling of that situation.
That's right, but a lot of Zealots coming up here right now, Tasteless. He does have one upgrade up on Demuslim. Demuslim has a lot of medevacs, though, and we still don't have any splash damage for Naniwa. So, you know, where there's a will or a Marine King, there is a way.
Well said, Artosis. Where there's a nanny, there's a wah. Yes, Artosis.
Nana what?
Now we have a few more SCVs being sniped down here again. A blink away. Naniwa is one of these guys that can teach you exactly how to use every single Protoss unit so well.
He certainly can.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, and a nice flank coming up here from Naniwa.
Oh, he's going to be able to go for the medevacs here, too.
He's got to try to lift and get out of here. And no vision on that high ground. Does kill one more medevac, but gets away with a good portion of his army. And still, the supplies pretty close. But Naniwa is in a great spot right this second. All the army is split up for Demuslim. He's got to be careful here.
You see Naniwa being very careful. He knows he has this advantage. He doesn't want to mess it up. The third base is cut off, but then again, you know, is he safe going up there, or will he get surrounded? Well, we're gonna find out now. The Zealots filling up there. No micro room over there for that top part of the Terran's army. The rest of the army for the Terran coming down from the bottom, but Naniwa with a sandwich of his own has Zealots coming up here from the south.
Oh, this is looking bad for Demuslim. All his medevacs up top, nothing healing the units down south, and it looks like that base absolutely going down as it dies. I think he just danced those Zealots.
Wow. Again, so many medevacs killed off this game. Really no way to recover there. Naniwa definitely the better player.
Wow, that was really great play by Naniwa there. And there he is.
There he is. Naniwa played just so well in those games. Game one, deflecting what is like not supposed to be possible to stop.
Yeah. It was a little bit of luck. You know, Demuslim was in the wrong place with those units, and the probes really got him.
But I mean, he chose to put the units there too, so.
Yeah.
You know,
it was interesting, actually, the little turning point in this last game when he actually had all his units up on the high ground. You look at that, I was looking at that, and it's like, well, Demuslim has all these SCVs buffering his Marines. He can actually trap everything there and kill it. But then the Zealots came up, and Zealots against StarCraft 2 SCVs is not a pretty fight.
All right, guys, just a little update. Stefano Pult is coming up next.
Ooh, you guys are lucky.
You lucky nerds. Those were great. They were great for that. If you want to learn Protoss, that last game, sniping the medevacs.
Oh, yeah.
Is so strong.
Yeah, it was a great move, man. The Muslim almost came back, but what are you going to do? Well, guys, we won't keep you any longer here because you guys got to watch Pult against Stefano.
All right, guys, that does it for Tasis and Artosis here. Again, please feel free to check us out at the GSL. That's at gomtv.net. And we'll be here all weekend casting more StarCraft 2 action. So up next is DJ Wheat and Day 9. Enjoy.